Hello out there in Twitch land. How's everyone doing today? Or this evening, depending on where you are or when you're watching this. It could be any time. For me, it's about 3 p.m. in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. If you're in the chat, say hi. I'd love to chat with you. Nice to know if I'm talking to someone and not just lip syncing to the camera. For those of you that are new, welcome. We are working on building out a contact management app. We started the app 77 commits ago, or roughly 3 months ago. The idea was to kind of show an app building from scratch. We essentially started with nothing and built a fully functional web application. If you want to follow along at some point, you can visit the outline page and it kind of walks through everything that we've done. We started off with walking through some of the IDEs or integrated development environments like Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, JetBrains Writer. We then started off fresh with File New, built the app from ground up. You can search or click on any one of the links to get a video of that particular stream, and then click on the link for the source code that was committed after that module was done. So we worked on building out our models, then built out the service layer, then spent a couple days building out the database using SQLite and any framework core. Whenever we have links to additional pages that we reference, you'll see them here. In this case, how we got started with any framework core, connection strings, SQLite specific connection strings. We then went and added unit tests to the application, tweaked the database a little bit, worked on exposing our applications with Web API. We then documented the API. We then added authentication to the API to make sure that only authorized users are able to get to it. We then worked on building out a client application, which we use ASP.NET Core MVC to do. Spent a couple days on that. We then migrated off to a SQL Server database as opposed to SQLite so that it was easier for us to do the next step, which was move the app to the cloud. We then spent a half hour or so adding applications insights to both the web app and the API and showed what it can be used for. And then this morning, we went and added application logging using a third-party library called nlog, where we added database and application insights logging. So now our application, both the API and the web app, will log to more than just the console. Today, we're going to work on taking the app and publishing it. So if you watched one of the previous ones, we essentially chose within Writer, right-click, and published, and went and tried it that way, which is fine and dandy when you're the only one doing it on your machine and you want to have it off to, or want to publish it whenever you can. But when you're in a real, quote unquote, enterprise, you normally want to schedule those deployments or at least run a series of tests before you deploy code to the world. So we're going to work on that today. There's several different ways to do this. There are products out there like Octopus Deploy, Circle CI, Azure Pipeline, GitHub Actions. Since our source code repository is hosted on GitHub, we are going to work with GitHub Actions. And I'm going to play with it because I've never done it before. So we're going to learn this together, and hopefully I don't make a total fool of myself. So if you follow along or taking a look at the screen, you'll see that there are a couple different options right here. I'm going to click on the Actions tab. I'm just going to open it up in a new window so we don't lose this page. In the action, there is quite a few options. So here you see that we have a suggested one because it realized that most of my code is within C# within this repository. It's suggesting to go through and do this. There's lots of other optional ones we can do depending on what we want to do with our code. So because we're using .NET Core, let's set this up. There's just a big dust bunny that flew by my face. I just cleaned this weekend. Problem this time of the year in Arizona, it's so dusty. So let's click set up this workflow, and you'll notice it comes with a editor that allows you to edit the what's called YAML file, YML. It's essentially another language in case you didn't want to learn JSON or C# or you name it. We can create any name we want for it. I'm gonna create this and call it deploy to Azure. Deploy to Azure. Now, typically we'd have one pipeline or one action for each of our applications. Because they're in the same repository, it's a little bit tricky. So for now, we'll just create one, and maybe in a future one, we will separate them. So a couple of things to notice. Here's the name of it, called .NET Core. I don't think we really need to care about the name. It'll probably show up in a couple other areas, so I'm just going to call this deploy contacts web UI and API. Now we're saying on a push to a branch that's called main, or any pull requests on the branch called main, you want to run one or more jobs. In this case, we're going to run a job called build. This job runs on a type of image called Ubuntu latest. So it's going to grab the latest version of Ubuntu and then follow the following steps. So it's going to check out the code. So it's going to get the latest copy of the code, then run another step called setup.NET Core, which is going to set up the latest version of .NET that we're running, which in this case is 3.1.301. And it's going to install all of our dependencies. So this is going to run a .NET restore, and then it's going to build the project using this command line. It's going to build the release version of it, and then it's going to execute the test. So let's see what this preview does. I think it's ready to go. This doesn't do deployment. This pretty much just builds. We'll have to add additional steps to deploy. What does preview do? Oh, it just shows us what it looks like. Press Control Space to, yeah, sure about that. It's just a pretty print version of it. Let's do start commit and initial version of YAML. We're going to create directly to branch, and you'll see there'll be a bunch of commits to it. Now I don't know where it goes from here. Now when I click on actions, I actually see something. So this is queued. It's telling it's run here. This is the event that triggered it, which is the creating and the deploy. It's in progress. I wonder if I can see the status. Let's click here, see if I can see the status. View workflow file. Nope. Ah, here it is. Build. So that's what it's doing now. Ooh, and it failed already. Sweet. Why did it fail? Run.net restore. Blah, 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 blah. Specify project or solution. And now my emails just went off because I got a message that it failed, which looks like this, which is fine. I kind of figured it was going to fail. And I'm not just saying that because it actually failed, but because my experience with this is it never works on the first try. But more so has to do with the way that the project is set up. What I mean by that, if we look at the project itself, everything is set up in source, whereas the workflows is 2 directories down. So we need a way to tell the workflow to kind of navigate back up, then navigate down to the source folder. Within our source, we have the solution. So we want the .NET build to run on here. So let's go back. Actually, I'm going to open up the solution inside of Visual Studio Code so that we can edit it a little bit cleaner. Insiders. Oh, yeah, I'm in here. Let's do a git pull. And it should have pulled down that deploy to Azure, which is right here. Let's increase this font a little bit. Plus. Man, that's really big. So we got this .NET build and release, and it kind of works in the same directory. So let's see what it says for syntax. I think we can go and let's look at the .NET command line. .NET command line, and we just need to specify the folder it works with. Spent a lot of time looking at this one, and I could cheat and get one of the working ones I have for another project since I kind of follow the same format, but I didn't want to do that. I want to have everyone figure it out at the same time. So here it's build and then looking at a solution as the first option. So let's go here. Yeah, I already did that. Too long. So this should be /source/ or do I do // let's just do source/ and what did we call the solution file? It's just context.solution. Yep. Let's try this /. I'm gonna save and then do a git add non-as git status. Make sure it caught that file. Yes. Git commit -m heading solution Getting.sln to YAML. Git push. Once that's pushed, it's done. Let's go back to the code. We should see a new build kicking off here, which is this one. Let's see the build. It's installing dependencies. It failed. Specify a project or a solution. It still didn't recognize the path. It's okay. It's a pain to get it. But once we have it, solution, GitHub Action.net build solution path. See if someone else already solved this. Oh, Tim Hero might have. He's usually one of the first ones I go to when I see a problem. Yeah, publish profile, repo. Let's see. Just list the name. Oh, another thing we can check is to see where it checked out the code to. Run, getting, deleting, initializing the repository. Add origination, fetching. A lot of objects. Checking out, switch to main branch. Doesn't tell me what folder it's in though. What folder are you in? Where are you? Fetching the repository. User bin git protocol blah 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 blah. Yes, but it doesn't tell me what folder. Run. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. There it goes. Home runner work contacts. So that should put us. Let's try without that. Or actually without that. Git add, git commit, git push, go back. One of the challenges with doing this is figuring this out, but also making sure you don't get queued too often, which I did on Azure when I did it. I love that this was actually cached by default. Still didn't find it. What directory am I in? Current working directory does not contain a project or a solution. Okie dokie. Oops, I closed the wrong tab. Reopen, close tab. Nope, that's not what I want. Looks like Tim's post is a bit old. Play app service, GitHub Actions. Let's see what this looks at. We're gonna have to do this part next, but I want the build portion of it. 10 p.m. We don't want to do that. The web project is not. Please consider. I don't want to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. I should just be able to say, this is a screen I want it on. Ah. Let's see what this person says. Yeah, go. He's always assumed that it's in the root, and that's not always the common way of setting it up. Let's try a different search. .NET build solution folder. Let's see what this person has to say. See, that's what I have. Let's see what he chose for the directory. He didn't do anything different. Dot forward slash. Well, that's what I did. Dot forward slash source. What did I do? Dot forward slash. Is it covered in quotes? .NET build dot forward slash source solutions dot sln. Okay, let's try that. I thought that's the one I did. Oh man, now my shortcuts are off. Minus git commit. Probably shouldn't keep adding the same comment, but we're going to be adding a lot of comments as we get this to work. Install dependencies, exit. Why can't you see it? Why can't you see it? This is dot source this folder, and then that file. I am at a loss. So if I do dot source here, source slash contacts dot sln. That should work because that's where I am. Permission denied, yeah, because it can't run it. CD source list. It's in there. So why are you not running? Checking out. Run.net restore. Man, what did I miss? Run on. What should have worked? While the above YAML breaks DevOps principle of being explicit, blah, blah, blah. Running today. My code looks just like that. Run. Copy and paste it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. .NET build, yeah, tab into here, add a couple of spaces. That's right. The spacing matters with this too, so gotta make sure the spacing is lined up. Just to make sure we have that right. Setup.net runs on Ubuntu latest. Install the .NET restore. Duh. I did the restore but didn't specify the solution folder. I was missing something simple. Now it should work. Git add cleaned added solution.sln to all .NET steps. Oh, I get it backwards. Git add now that's pushed. Let's come back here. Double check the actions. Read the build. Setup's running a little bit longer. Install dependencies, determining projects to restore, which is good. It hasn't failed. In the meantime, I'm going to go to my email and delete all the failed notifications so far. I restored all the projects. Now it should be building them. Oh, didn't restore them all yet. Now it's running .NET Build. This to me is the hardest part of just figuring out the folder locations. Once you have it, you should be good to go. And our test failed. Why did our test fail? Could not execute because the specified command or file was not found. Oh, capitalize the T. Silly me. It's case sensitive. This we want to say fix spelling error in .NET test. Git push back here. Check out the actions. Check out the actions. There we go. Build. Wait for it to catch up. This is what happens when you run too many of them too quickly. You kind of get queued up. It essentially has to wait for other servers become available. You have to look at creating a status badge. There it goes. Installing dependencies. All restored. We'll build, hopefully. All testing. I have to add test coverage to it. Add badge or build status. And test coverage. Writing notes somewhere. Hey, job's complete. We get a big green check mark, just like I did back in school. So that means we were able to get them all working and compiled. No artifacts were generated, no annotations created. That's totally fine. So now we have it, so it's built. We got everything configured right. Now we need to take those deployments and move them from whatever directory they're on the server and push them out. So let's go to here. And I'm only editing it online because I honestly don't know the syntax for everything else we need to do. So I think what we're going to want to do is create another job and call this deploy. Steps is next. and then give it a name. Deploy web UI. And this is where we come here. Let's see, Azure. We want to deploy an Azure Web App. Okay, how do I add it in here? Just do this. Control V. Since spacing matters, I probably need to do that. And then tab into there. Missing requires runs on. I guess I don't need to do that. And I can probably just continue to do this. So let's tab that into here. The web app name. Let's see, what is our web app name? I forgot. Go to portal. "40 minutes in." If you're new to the chat, come say hi. I know that there are people here. This is the web app, so we need this name here. Publish profile applies to web applications, multi-containers. Enter an existing slot. Don't think we need a publish profile. Don't need a slot. We'll do production for now. Maybe in the future we'll do a dev slot. Applies to web app only. Optional default is period. Path to package, folder, zip, jar, or folder to deploy. Oh, that means we need the physical folder. We're not going to do images, so we don't have to worry about that. Don't need that, and we don't need that. So the only thing we need to figure out is where this folder is for this. Let's see if there's an example. Because what we really need is a fully qualified name, which is going to be a pain. Check out, authenticate using or Azure logins. Action support publish profiles or web apps. Action does not support. Create and deploy workflow samples are given. IG if you want to deploy Java wars. Let's see what this template looks like. I think we actually have to do some authentication on this side. And setup doesn't do anything different. So let's download the publish file. Define secret variable in the repository per action documentation. So we're going to need a secret. Get the publish profile. Where do we do that? Security. Nope. Settings. There's a secrets. There it is. There are no secrets for this. Let's do web dash UI dash, what's it called? Deploy. I already forgot the name of it. Add some one of these windows here. Publish profile. Publish profile. And then values. So that I need to get from here. Get publish profile. And save this to downloads. And I think I actually have to open it on a new screen because I don't know if I can copy and paste that text anywhere. Downloads. Let's do text edit. I'm opening this up on another screen so that we don't see what's in there. And other. Only because I had to remember what's in one of those files. There's a lot of content in here, so bear with me for a second while I move this off screen and paste that content in there. And then while we're at it, I am going to edit for the other API. Name is invalid. Why is the name invalid? That's not good. Only expose selected actions. Which are not past the workflow that triggered by a pull request from a fork. Okay. Use secret. Oh, dashes are not allowed. Web UI publish profile secret. Use secret. Web API publish profile. Again, I'm off adding it on a different screen only because I don't want anyone to see it because it's a secret. If you get access to this, you'll be able to override the settings for the app, which not cool. Not that anyone would do that, but rather be safe than sorry. Control A, Control C. Okay, now they're added. I can bring it back on the screen. And you see we have these two values here. Now let's go about adding them to here. Where'd that sample go? Publish profile here. So we got the app name. What do we call it? Let's do the UI one first. Are you editing secrets.webui publish? That's good. Path to the folder. Great, now we need to know the folders where it went to. Let's go to Actions. Should see it in the build. Fully qualified path to it. This is... That's the folder. Oh man, that's busy. Essentially you need this. But I think, not sure if that's what we need to deploy. There's two of them there. I'll pass the folder in and then we can see if that works. So that's the first one. Azure Web App. Web UI. And then let's copy and paste this one, and actually let's just leave this one. And then if this works, we can copy and paste and change the rest. Let's do start commit, added web UI to deployment. Commit changes and let's hope for the best. Actions. Best part is going to be here. It gets down to this one. Oh boy. It's like, hey, just skip. This is what I care about. I know everything else works. Let's see. Ooh. Successfully ran. That's awesome. Let's see if it worked. And it's reloading. Oh, I went to the API. Web. That could be fine. Another way to check. Let me just restart it to make sure it's good. Wait, wrong app. Let's go back to here. X web, and let's restart that. Check the configuration, make sure it's got everything. Yeah, all that's there. So let's copy you off to the clipboard, paste you in there. I don't have permission to view. Oh, you know what it probably is? It probably only copied that one file. Because there were two files in there. Let's double check to see. There is a file browser in here. Go to Advanced Tools, go. And eventually it loads. Click on Files. And hard to see because I don't have a JSON viewer that's actually working on the machine. Data, path, log files. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted to see. Let's go back. You see site www root has the web UI, has the web UI views that were published seconds ago. So everything should be good to go. Let's try restarting the app and see. Okay, it should be enough time for it to restart. It's waiting, and fail. So it didn't publish everything. So let's go back to the drawing board and see what we missed. Sample workflow. No, I don't want node. Let's check out this one. Build. I need to publish it. That's probably why. We need to publish it. Probably creates a bunch of directories and stuff for it. So let's go up to our action here. Make sure I have the latest. Git pull. We're going to add 2 new tasks. Do publish. Publish web UI. And then publish web API. Then the command is .NET publish. And I don't know why I'm doing both of them. Let's just take this one out so I don't get them confused and get one working right. Then we can copy and paste. So let's see what the publish command has in store for us. Publish -co and then environment path The environment path is set up as a generic. Oh, let's do this here. Environment path. Was it after the jobs or before the jobs? It was before the jobs. So let's do this. We don't need this one. And we're going to probably create a different one. Web API. Package path. Dot. And then it wants us to publish it this way. Let's do it from here on because we are going to want to keep that path in here. -C, and let's do web. Wait, what was that folder? My app. It seems very generic. My app. Let's go here. See what this tells us. App service. I guess that's standard, so we'll just use the My App for now. We'll see if that affects it. Package. I don't know if the My App has anything to do with it, but we'll see. Control S. Git add. Git commit -M. Adding the web app. Deploy. Git push. Let's come back here, look at our actions. Hope we have this one right. If not, we're gonna have to pause and take a quick station break. Installing dependencies. Everything's restored. Oof, excuse me. It's ready. Step over. Oh, I don't need to refill my tea. Publish. 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 It's looking better. I ran a bunch of stuff. Deployed a bunch of stuff. It ran. Now let's go check out that URL. Should be here. Let's see the HTTPS. Fingers crossed. Cannot be found. Why can't you be found? No web page found. Ah, I broke it. It's probably because that web app is in there, I bet. Have to restart. Still waiting. Nope. It's broken now. Ooh, I can view the deployment logs. Let's see. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe I can help figure it out where it is. Let's see, I need to get a better JSON viewer. Let's go here from the see a list of logs. Deployments. Created via push. And these are all the GitHub pushes. I wonder if I just have the folders set up wrong. Let's see if I can see any logs. You mean you didn't find any logs? The site's broken. You should find plenty of logs. Plenty of logs. Oh, come on. Azure's just broken altogether now. Activity log. This is where it says Joe broke it. Yeah. Limit slots should say just the prod. Yeah, I don't have any slots. Backups. No backups. No backups for you, Joe. Let's go check the folders again. Site www root, which was 3:59, about 5 minutes ago. Looks like it got everything. I mean, we can look at the release directory of the machine and see what it says. Projects, contacts, web. It looks like that. Web UI, DLL. And obviously it won't be debug. Should have a web context.web UI here. We do. We got the views. Why isn't it starting? See if we got any log files. This is the log file for the website, so I'm scrolling all the way down to the end to see if we see anything. Web platform handler. Nothing. Doesn't help me. Data, yeah, there's nothing in there that we care about. Is this linked to site root? Oh. Let's see what that looks like compared to Web API, because they should really look the same. And tools. PowerShell. Site root. Sure the API still works. That wasn't found either. Man, I really broke it. That's weird that I broke the other one because I didn't even actually use it yet. Well, let's just republish from here so it's working, and then we will resume it again tomorrow or later today. Publish. You can cheat what your writer does and replicate those commands. Building. Building. So it looked like, yep. Let's publish the next one. So the API should exist now. If I go here, I should get page eventually. Oh, I'm getting a 404 because nothing exists for it because we have no UI. I'd have to go here slash contacts. And I get a 401 unauthorized, so that's working. And this should be working now. And that's working. So we got part of the scripts working, but we still can't fully deploy. Guess we'll work on that part later on tonight or tomorrow. Till then, have a good day.